We got the 27th opening to One Piece, so let's do a breakdown of every single frame in this opening. Probably don't need to say this, but spoilers ahead to major manga moments in One Piece, so click that like button and come back later. So yeah, I love a good Japanese anime opening, and this is one of the best openings we've seen for One Piece yet, and probably one of the most emotional too. The opening mainly focuses on the two characters, Bonnie and Kuma, and I really love this one shot here where you see Bonnie looking at the sun, and you see Kuma's reflection in her eye doing the dance of liberation. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I also like the little flashback showing Bonnie's life all the way from her first debut in Sabaody. The opening shot of this opening is really good as it focuses a lot on the sun, and it took me a little bit to realize that this isn't just focusing on any kind of sun. The sun is actually representing Luffy, as Bonnie is looking at the sun in the beginning of the opening as the opening starts to transition to her view of Luffy. As the opening is about to begin, we see some of the Straw Hats having some slice of life moments, and honestly this little shot here where we see Zoro and Brook having their little interactions, the two swordsmen of the Straw Hats, is really nice to watch. Even though the second half to Egghead is a really eventful arc, the first part of this opening does make you feel like you're watching a slice of life arc for One Piece. As I mentioned before, this opening mainly focuses on both Kuma and Bonnie, and let me just say to y'all, the moment when we see Kuma's past, everybody is gonna cry. We get some more flashbacks at Kuma's past, like we get a better look at his kid self, but we also get our first look to Jenny and St. Garling. St. Garling has already made his debut in the series recently, but this is the first time we've seen the younger version of himself, and oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get some more confirmation to see if this guy is related to Shanks or not. And Saturn looking over them all, oh my gosh, goosebumps right there. We then see the formation of the Liberation Army, and then it transitions into Kuma meeting Bonnie for the very first time in that church. And a little fun fact, I heard that this was one of the few moments where Oda was crying so hard during a chapter while making it that he wasn't able to finish the chapter in time. Even when reading this part of the manga, it didn't look absolutely completed, so you could tell that Oda had some difficulty drawing this moment. And dang, I know I'm gonna cry so much during this. I found this transition here to be pretty cool, as I felt like these white things here were supposed to represent petals, and then they would suddenly transform into the paper that Kuma would write to Bonnie to every single day, despite Bonnie not receiving a single one of them. But oh my gosh, the sudden transition to adult Jenny. Oh man, I'm gonna get so emotional during the second part of this arc, guys. This was another really cool transition I liked too, as we saw Bonnie growing up and we saw more flashbacks to Kuma's past. I mainly really like this transition here because it looked like that Bonnie was using her devil fruit abilities for the very first time and trying to hurry up to be with her father again. And oh my gosh, the last little flashback that we see in this moment here where we see Kuma crying. I am not ready for it. And this scene here is really cool too, where you see the Gorosei looking over Bonnie as she'll eventually become one of the most wanted people in the whole world. We get the return of Akainu as he's gonna face off with Kuma, the Revolutionary Army preparing for their battle against the world government, and we got the divide between Vegapunk and York. And right after we see Vegapunk and York go their separate ways, it was really funny just seeing Luffy popping right out of nowhere, breaking reality, and showing off his debut of Gear 5 in the second part of this arc. And yeah, we are definitely going to be getting some of the best action to 5th Gear Luffy yet in the rest of this arc. And after we see Luffy doing the Dance of Liberation, I cried so much when we saw another flashback of Bonnie and Kuma doing that very same dance during Bonnie's childhood. Oh my gosh, I am not ready for this. Kizaru has finally made his way to Egghead in this opening here. And we see him fighting Sentomaru, and I love this shot here where we see him fighting off against one of Kizaru's light blasts, where we see a flashback of Kizaru and Sentomaru's past. And we also get a little sneak peek of 5th Gear Luffy versus Kizaru. We get even more flashbacks of Bonnie and Kuma's past. Seriously, this opening might as well just be called Kuma and Bonnie Opening 1. This shot here is also weirdly sweet to see, as we get a shot of Dragon holding Luffy's very first bounty. That goes to show just how much love Dragon must have in his son. I mean, could you imagine just how proud Dragon must be seeing his son being one of the most wanted criminals just like him in the world? And finally, we do get some more shots showing us Kuma out on his journey in order to cure Bonnie of her disease. And we see him writing those Dear Bonnie letters. And oh my gosh, I'm just not ready to read those Dear Bonnie letters. They are going to be so emotional. In this last flashback we see of Kuma and Bonnie during Bonnie's childhood, where we see Bonnie riding on Kuma's shoulders and she's playing with his little ears on his hat. Oh my gosh, it's just so sweet and sad. We don't really get anything else after all those scenes. The only thing that I do find really interesting about the final few scenes of the Straw Hats flying with the Sunny together is that Sanji is making a pizza for Bonnie, which is her favorite food. While I feel like that this opening did spoil a lot of stuff we're going to see in the rest of this arc, it still did a really great job to show us the emotional connection that Bonnie and Kuma have, and I cannot wait to see their story continue in the rest of this arc. Anyway, go down to his comments to tell me what you thought of the 27th opening to One Piece. Share this video with all your friends, and click that like and follow button to get my latest content.